Burma Independent Voice.
Please, order in the hall. 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 Please order in the hall and please be seated. Please order in the hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, last year I stood at this podium and I showed this map. This map. It shows the curse of Iran's terror axis. This axis threatened the peace of the entire world. It threatened the stability of our region and the very existence of my country, Israel. Israel's 12-day war with Iran, which I renamed Operation Rising Lion, that's from the Bible. This 12-day war will go down in the annals of military history. Our daring pilots neutralized Iran's missile defenses and took control of the skies over Tehran. And you saw this. Israeli fighter pilots and American B-2 pilots bombed Iran's nuclear enrichment sites. I want to thank President Trump for his bold and decisive action. But we're not done yet. The final remnants of Hamas are holed up in Gaza City. They vow to repeat the atrocities of October 7th again and again and again, no matter how diminished their forces. That is why Israel must finish the job. That is why we want to do so as fast as possible.
To you today, after almost 2 years in which our Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip have been facing a war of genocide, destruction, starvation, and displacement waged by the Israeli occupation forces, in which they killed and injured more than 220,000 Palestinians, the majority of whom are unarmed children, women, and the elderly. A war in which they displaced hundreds of thousands and prevented the entry of food and medical supplies and caused
And of course, you understand that the war in Gaza has affected every Israeli. But I'm sure there are people in New York or in London or in Melbourne and elsewhere who are probably thinking, what does all of this have to do with me? And the answer is everything. Because our enemies are your enemies. So let's do something else, first at the UN. Let's do a pop quiz. And raise your hand if you know the answer. Here's the first question. Who shouts, "Death to America"? Is it A, Iran, B, Hamas, C, Hezbollah, D, the Houthis, or E, all of the above? All of the above. Correct, all of the above. Second question. Who has murdered Americans and Europeans in cold blood? Is it A, Al-Qaeda, B, Hamas, C, Hezbollah, D, Iran, or E, all of the above? Correct. Again. So here's the point I wanted to make. Our enemies hate all of us with equal venom. They want to drag the modern world back to the past, to a dark age of violence, fanaticism, and terror. I think many of you are already feeling in your own societies the radical Islamist surge. This week, the leaders of France, Britain, Australia, Canada, and other countries unconditionally recognized a Palestinian state. They did so after the horrors committed by Hamas on October 7th. Horrors praised on that day by nearly 90% of the Palestinian population. Now, let me say that again. Nearly 90% of Palestinians supported the attack on October 7th. I say this not only in my name or the name of my government, but on behalf of all the people of Israel. Last year there was a vote in the Knesset, our parliament, whether or not to oppose the imposition of a Palestinian state. You want to guess what the results were? Out of 120 members of our parliament, 99 voted against and only 9 supported. That's over 90%. It's not a fringe group. It's not the prime minister who himself is extreme or he's held hostage by extreme parties to his right. It's over 90% of Israelis. My opposition to a Palestinian state is not simply my policies or my government's policy. It's the policy of the state and people of the state of Israel.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we say clearly, peace cannot be achieved if justice is not achieved. And there can be no justice if Palestine is not freed. We want to live in freedom, security, and peace like all other people on earth, in an independent, sovereign state on the borders of 1967, with East Jerusalem as our capital, in security and peace with our neighbors. We want a modern civilian state that is free of violence, weapons, and extremism, one that respects law, human rights, and invests in people, development, technology, and education, not in wars and conflict. The time has come for the international community to do right by the Palestinian people so that they may obtain their legitimate rights to be rid of the occupation and to not remain a hostage to the temperament of Israeli politics, which denies our rights and continue in their injustice, oppression, and aggression. We are continuing to move forward, and we will continue our peaceful, legal, and diplomatic fight to obtain our rights. In conclusion, we say to our sons and daughters in the homeland, in the exile, and in the diaspora, no matter how much our wounds bleed, and no matter how long the suffering lasts, It will not break our will to live and survive. The dawn of freedom will emerge, and the flag of Palestine will fly high in our skies as a symbol of dignity, steadfastness, and being free from the yoke of occupation. Palestine is ours.
We're here in New York City where thousands of protesters are heading towards the UN just after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the General Assembly. Despite having a warrant out for his arrest with the ICC, Netanyahu was invited by Donald Trump onto U.S. soil and received by New York state officials. Many remember that the last time Netanyahu was here in New York, he allegedly approved the pager attack in Lebanon, which killed dozens of people and injured more than 3,000. New Yorkers here have a clear message towards Netanyahu. He's not welcome here.
It's disgusting. He's a war criminal. I don't know how many human rights organizations, how many international courts, how many nations in the world have to say that Netanyahu is not only a war criminal, he's the epitome, the incarnation of Satan. You know? And he should have been arrested a long time ago. And it's disgusting that he can step foot in New York and not get arrested.
Tens of thousands of New Yorkers have come out representing the will, the mandate of millions of people around the world who reject genocide and who demand, not call, we demand that the UN actually take determinate action to stop the genocide. We don't want any more speeches. We want actions. We want sanctions. We want an arms embargo. UN should expel Israel now.
We're here because we have to take every stand possible. That's beyond marching in the streets. That's putting pressure on every government because recognizing the state of Palestine that the General Assembly is doing is not enough. It's a symbolic act. You can't recognize a state that is being killed. And so we have to put pressure not only on the states in every capacity, but also we have to continue with our boycotts, and we have to ensure that we keep up efforts like the Maersk effort to make every other country throughout the European bloc in particular say no more weapons manufacturers, we'll boycott you, we'll kick you out of the General Assembly, but we can't get tired, and I'm not getting tired.
He should step out of his office. He should stop the state of Israel. He should stop this occupation in its entirety. Not only this genocide, but this occupation altogether is criminal, dangerous, and catastrophic, not only to Palestinians, but the Jewish people as well.
He belongs in The Hague, not in New York City. Arrest this war criminal.